Well, hello everybody. Welcome to P.B.M. Money. Dividends Reconsidered. Well, I should probably tell you that when we got into the stock game about 6 months ago, my intention was to buy dividend stocks. But when we got in and I saw the big opportunity for growth stocks, we jumped into growth stocks and did very well. And the plan all along has been, once the growth stocks have got back to pre-pandemic form, we will transition to dividend stocks. And I have started, I've got a couple of them, not many, probably maybe only 1,000 or two, I really don't know. But we have done some. I digress. So I recently did a show and I was talking about the stock market and how your goals change and strategies change as you grow older. So I was thinking about that and I thought, okay, so because I've been practicing frugality and living as inexpensively as I can, I've managed to get my expenses down to around $1,000 a month, and I could get down to about $900 or $950 if I needed to. And that is still with the car payment. So I thought, okay, so let's say $1,000 a month. Now I'm going to do some math here, just thumbnail math, but I want you to follow me. So what I decided was, in 5 years, I need $1,000 a month to live, plus free housing. The free housing I'm working on, that's our game. But I still need $1,000 in cash per month to live. How long will it take me to get there getting dividend stock? Now, I have a couple of dividend stocks that are paying 10% per year. The majority of them are paying less than 4% per year. So I decided, let's do the calculations based on a 5% dividend rate and see what we need. So if I invested $1,000 a month at a 5% dividend rate, and we're assuming no direct into the same stock. You get the dividend and then you buy more stock yourself. That way you can pinpoint at each quarter or each month where the best buy is. That's just, I prefer that. Now, in order to get there, using that formula, now think about that, $1,000 a month right now. And what you're looking at is $12,000 in a year to be generated by dividends. How long do you think it would take to do that, and how much money? It would take $240,000 invested, and to get $240,000 invested at $1,000 a month will take you 20 years and 8 months. At that rate, I will be in my early 80s. Okay? So then I thought, okay, I mean, that's not sustainable. I cannot work until my 80s. That's just, so when I stop working, my investment is going to drop in half, at least. So then the game that we're playing is to save $70,000 in 3 years to buy a duplex. So then I thought, okay, so let's take the same $1,000 per month invested and let's get $60,000 in cash. That takes 5 years, assuming no interest and no drip. All right? So in 5 years, we'll have $60,000. Now, whether we put it towards real estate or we put it in dividend stock, we'll have $60,000. Now we know that we will only have X amount of cash, okay? We will only be a fourth of the way there for dividend stocks. But what if we took that $60,000 and we bought us a $120,000 duplex? Okay? And these numbers are pretty reasonable for around here. So if I get a $120,000 duplex, I put 60 down. That still leaves me financing 60, leaves my payments around $500 a month. And I can rent each side easily all day long for $800 a month. So $800 a month for 12 months is $9,600 per year per side. If I keep them both rented, it'll be $19,200 per year income. Minus the loan payment, taxes and insurance, and a 20% vacancy rate and expenses and all of that, we are looking at net income of $10,200 per year for one duplex. Remember, the goal is $12,000. And we got there in 5 years. If we did the same thing for each of the next 5 years for 20 years, this is what it would look like. We'd have $12,000 a year coming in from dividend stocks, or we would have $51,000 a year coming in from rental property. Do you see why I reconsidered? I think dividend stocks are good, and I think if I were young and I was investing $1,000 a month or $500 or whatever I'm investing, I think buying good, solid, dividend producing stocks is a good investment, because you've got 40 years. And by the time you get there, now 12,000 probably won't mean as much in 40 years, but at least you'll have something. But when you're starting at 60 years old, you don't have 20 years or 30 years to wait for that to add up. But if you can take what you make in 5 years, leverage that out to a decent amount, and then rent it out, you can have 5 times as much income in 20 years as you will putting your money into dividend producing stocks. Now, I am not poo-pooing dividend stocks. In fact, if you wanted to follow that real estate scenario further out, what if after the first duplex and you're making $10,000 a year, you took that $10,000 and put it back into the market? So that in 20 years, you'd have $40,000 or $50,000 per year putting back into the market. That'd get you there. I'm not saying one versus the other and that's it. All I'm saying is the quickest way for here and for now is to go buy a duplex. If we get the duplex and it gets rented out, I will probably take that money and put it either into the market or back into buying another duplex. I don't know. But I think some combination thereof, so that your money isn't always tied up in real estate, but you've got some in the market. I think that's a smart way to go. The older I get, the more I think I'm going to tend towards real estate, but the income that it produces, if I do not need it to live on, I'm going to keep in cash. That way, when the market does go down or crash, then I will take that excess cash, invest in the market, and then continue to save for another duplex. That's my new thinking. That makes more sense on building wealth and surviving short term versus long term. And that is how we're taking our game, and we're going to expand it. I think, based on the numbers that I'm seeing already, I think we're going to reach our goal in 2 years. So in 2 years, we should be buying, and I'm not going to change the rules. We said 3, but if we reach it in 2, I'm going to be buying my first duplex in 2 years, which means the end of next year, actually. Then we will continue saving until we have enough to buy another duplex. That'll put us 4 or 5 years from now. We will have 2 duplexes. And even if I go to live in one, I'll still have 3 units producing income. That's $2,400 a month. And that we can do. So we need 4 or 5 years to get 2. We need 2 years to get 1, and $1,000 a month to get there. We're on our way. We've modified how we're going to get there. We've modified the vehicles on how we're going to get there. And we've changed a little bit about how much we need because we've been practicing and living frugally. Now, life always throws curves, and the best laid plans of mice and men, blah, 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 I get it. It could all be wiped out tomorrow. And frankly, I'm not in charge of that. That's God's area. If that's what he wants, okay. But we have to use the brain that God gave us, use the ability that God gave us, and do the best we can with what we have to be good stewards. And God has blessed that on me all the way through. I do my best to be the best steward I can, and God provides the opportunities as he sees fit. Well, that's our plan. Dividends take a back seat, real estate take a front seat, but we're not eliminating either one of them now or in the future. We're going to use them in tandem to grow our wealth, grow our income, and secure our retirement. Well, you guys have a great week, and happy investing.